Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine over at geekazine.com and how to record podcasts over at howtorecordpodcast.com. And today I'm showing you a different when I create video, I create video using the Sony creative software, which is great software. And I normally use Movie Studio Platinum, but I've been talking to the people at Sony and I say, "Hey, you know, what's the big differences between, because you just came out with Sony Pro 13." And they said, "Well, you know, why don't you download it, check it out, and then go through the differences and go from there." So I did, and I was pretty impressed between the differences. Now, this is Movie Studio Platinum 13. This is what's called Vegas Pro 13, and both of these are as you can see, a lot of similarities in the screen. You're not seeing the full screen, but a lot of similarities there. And I have something loaded here, whereas I don't have anything loaded on this one. And of course, I'm going to show them to you. Now, when it comes to getting video creation software through Sony, they have 5 different versions. They have Movie Studio 13, they have Movie Studio 13 Platinum, they have Movie Studio 13 Ultimate, which comes with a DVD Architect and a couple other things. Then you have Vegas Pro, which is a lower, it's like Vegas Pro, something like Edit, and then you have Vegas Pro, the full version. Now, when it comes to Movie Studio, the prices are $49.95 and then $79.95. Platinum $79.95. And then of course the Ultimate is $139.95, and then Vegas Pro, the prices are $399.95 and $599. So basically $600 for the full version of Vegas Edit or Vegas Pro 13. And I'm looking at these and I'm starting to think to myself, there might be some really good reasons to actually switch up and recommend, especially if you're doing lots of video. And we're talking like, even if you're doing YouTube video, this might be something to even get into and understand a little bit more, because it comes with a lot of great little features here. So, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the differences between the features here, and we're only going to focus on the 2. We're going to talk about the Platinum, which is right here, Movie Studio Platinum, and Vegas Pro 13, which is right here. Now, as you can see, like I said, everything, it looks pretty similar. So if you start on one, you get the idea, you can go on the other. The biggest thing about Movie Studio Platinum 13 is not only have they geared it towards the beginner editor, they've also geared it towards the people that have touchscreens. So there's 2 modes here. You have a simple mode and an advanced mode. Here's the simple mode right here. As you can see, everything just switched around. But as you can see, there's big buttons and nothing can be moved around. You've got your media generators, your video effects, your transitions, your project media. You can't move anything around. The whole idea is it's set for a touch screen. So you're up on your touch screen, maybe a tablet, a Surface, or something like that, and you're doing your editing from there. You switch it over to advanced mode, which I normally do. You still have these big buttons because you can still use it for a touch screen, but you'll be able to do a lot more. Like, for instance, add layers, move things around. Like, for instance, I can move this around, and this is my area where I bring in preview stuff, so I can bring it down into the timeline. And then, of course, over here I've got my audio. I can bring that up and move that around like that. And then, of course, edit information on the timeline right here. So that's basically the interface of Movie Studio Platinum 13. Let's switch over to Vegas Pro really quick. And so with Vegas Pro, as you can see, we've got pretty much the same thing. We move things around. There is no simple or advanced mode. It's this, and that's pretty much it. And you can move things around, and you can bring in your project media right here. You've got your the Explorer where you can find stuff. You got transitions. Let's widen this out a little bit. You got video effects and media generators. Now, with the Pro 13 Pro, you get some video effects that you don't get inside of Movie Studio, and that's from this company called New Blue Video Essentials. So as we're coming in, we can see a different type of Chroma Key program, color replace, cutaway, garbage matte. The best part about this Chroma Key that the movie studio can't do is you can Chroma Key and then cut out sides. So if you only got let's say this guy is right here, and then there's like a green screen behind him, but then there's a whole bunch of noise here. I can cut out those sides and have him standing in the green screen, so I can actually do more more standing. You know, I could be sitting at my desk and have the green screen behind me, and then cut that stuff out, and then have a virtual background behind me. So it works a little bit better. Of course, you can get the new Blue Video Essentials 6 for Windows. You can purchase it on its own. So if you decide you get Platinum, I believe it will launch into there. So you should be able to get those. But they come with a Vegas Pro 13. The other thing that it will do is it'll let you bring in those OpenFX effects into here. Now, Vegas works with multiple different programs. As you can see, I've got the hit film effects right here, where I can bring that in. Hit film is another program that you use for editing video. So, and then I can bring in third-party VSTs. Like, for instance, one of my favorite track compressors is the Kajiris, which they don't make anymore. So I've kind of put it into my into the background onto my Dropbox, so I can always grab it if I need to when I'm creating something new. So, so that's basically it on the looks of things. But Vegas Pro 13 is going to do so much more for that $600 that you would get on there. So let's go through all the features here. First of all, they both will do Blu-ray and DVD disc authoring. They use this DVD Architect Pro for that. The Movie Studio 13 has a simple edit mode, whereas both of them will have the advanced edit mode. The Vegas Pro does not do a simple edit mode because they're expecting you to do a lot more complex stuff on Pro. Now, Vegas Pro, here's where the real... And the other thing is that the Movie Studio 13 is meant for touchscreens. Vegas Pro, not as much. So if you use it with a touchscreen, you'll be able to, I believe, touch some of the stuff, but mostly mouse and keyboard work. Now here's where Vegas is really going to start to come in, and we're going to start with this one because this was pretty impressive when I saw it, and I just loaded it. I'm over on iTunes here. And they have a thing called Vegas Pro Connect, which is software that, and you can see some screenshots here, and I'm going to show you it in a second here. You can actually use it to control your Vegas Pro. So we're going to go back over to Vegas Pro, but I'm going to switch over to my iPad here. And you're seeing part of the screen here. And right now, it says that it's inactive because of the fact that the primary screen is not on Vegas Pro right now. So if I click on the primary screen the primary screen, as you can see, it now says it's connected and you can tap for controls. Basically, what happens is you download the app, and then you go into Vegas Pro, and then you say, "Hey, I've got the connection with the iPad," and it'll tell you how to set it up and everything like that. You put in the IP address and go from there, and then you come back to the app and you do the same thing. You put in the IP address. So we're going to move over. As you can see, there's the settings for this. We'll go back over to home. We're going to connect by hitting the green button right there. And as you can see, we're going to see a little timer area. What you don't see is a little hand on the right side of the screen. If I touch on that hand, I get a different type of surface. But if I tap onto my iPad, I will get this video to start playing. And we're going to switch over. I'm going to hit the iPad again, and that stops it. If I use it does a lot of multi-touch. Like if I swipe down, I can move the cursor around. If I can, if I pinch out, as you can see, the cursor moves again. There's undo. There's multiple options here simply through this iPad app right here, which helps out. You know, it's a great way for somebody to sit there and be on a big screen, not be sitting at the computer, and say, "Hey, let's see what's going on here." So, and we bring it over there and find out what's going on here. We can stop it. We can put in markers. This is the cool thing. So I'm going to say check color. I'm going to put that here. Now watch, you're going to see an orange flag right about here show up where that cursor is. So I'm going to swipe down, and there's the orange flag, and it says check the color. So that means if somebody's editing, I've just reviewed it and said, hey, the color on here doesn't look too good, and go from there. I'm going to do a little corner move to undo that marker there. So I can choose markers. I can actually add a marker to it, and I can do that all straight from the iPad. I'll show you from the iPad here. So I'm going to hit the check color, and that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'll switch it over to edit. I'll say I want to edit that part. So I'm just going to swipe down. You don't see the swipe, of course, but then I'm going to go back here, and as you can see, it says edit right in the marker there. So pretty simple app, but it's perfect for somebody that's editing, and they can see a little bit more. I don't have it fully set up just yet. In the review projects, we'll go back here. There'll be review projects that I can choose. I can refresh. This is all the projects that are sitting in an area where I can pull them up and look at them through the app. So that's basically the app in the nutshell. And of course, you can get that app over at iTunes. I'll have the link in the show notes where you can get the Vegas Pro Connect software, so you can hook it up and go from there. All right, we're going to turn that off. Set the iPad aside. Now you've got an understanding of what's going on with the iPad. That's a great feature when it comes to editing your projects, because I could actually be in the other side of the room, and I could just kind of pause it there and say, hey, I need to fix something there, and put the marker down. Don't need to be in front of the computer. Some other features that we've got, there's great ways for you to do some collaboration. We're going to go up here. We're going to go to the file. We can do the share online. We can do some real-time rendering. So I could send somebody a WAV file and say, hey, how does this sound to you? And go from there, or adjust the audio file so I can listen to it later, or bring it into another program and maybe do some external editing and go from there. Of course, you can get Music Studio or Sony Acid and hook it up to Vegas so you can do the editing from there. So you can also prepare for Vegas Pro Connect, and you can manage your Pro Connect clips, which, once again, that would be part with the iPad and stuff like that. So you can go from there. All right, let's move on from there. There's a lot of other features inside of Vegas Pro, a lot of 4K stuff, even though Movie Studio 13 can take care of some 4K video. Vegas Pro handles a lot more, gives you a lot more options. Now, one thing that I noticed, if I go to File and I go to New inside of Vegas Pro 13, we're going to say no. I'm going to get a completely different interface than I would when it comes to with the Music Studio 13. So we're going to go Project. We're going to go New. And there you'll have basically internet video, Blu-ray, disc, AVC, HD, all that other stuff. You can choose surround sound or stereo, and you can choose whether you're in America or Europe type resolution, NTSC or PAL, and give it a name and manage the project. But if we go over here, as you can see, we can choose the width of the screen, we can choose the field order, we can choose the pixel format, the transformation, and a whole bunch more. So if you really want to make something that pops out, then Pro 13 will give you a lot more options. Of course, we knew that with the higher price. So, all right, let's move on. We've got lots of stuff in here that helps you with that. Now, some other things that they also share. We'll go down the list here. Stereoscopic 3D editing. So if you actually are creating 3D video, you can go into these editors. Either editor will work for it and create some 3D for there. Masking. Now, like I said, when it comes to Chroma Key Masking, you just basically, if you stand in front of a green screen, the green screen's got to encompass the whole area, or else you can't pull out parts. Like if you have a shadow somewhere in your green screen, you can't pull that out through a mask. But with Pro 13, you can use the Bezier tool, and you can move that around. And of course, like I said, you can also use the new blue effects right there. They both have about 350 video effects. Like I said, with these new blue effects, you can add 390. You can always bring in other effects if you need to and go from there. They both have color match. They both do 2D and 3D video transitions. They've got over 200 of those transitions. They can do credit rolls, text animation, image stabilization. They both got it. Now, Home, 13 Home has the ability to do what's called a Slideshow Creator. So I could bring in a whole bunch of pictures, and I can say, I think it's up here, Tools, Create Slideshow. Project, where is it? Somewhere in here, you go down and say Create Slideshow. I thought it was, here it is right here, Slideshow. So I just bring in that, and then of course it brings up this thing right here where I can add pictures and then go from here. The one if you're not familiar with the Vegas line of software, this is the one thing I really love, and it happens with both of these. You have two different types of track FX, and this also happens with Sony Acid Studio as well. And so basically, you have two types of effects. You have your track effects, actually three types of effects. Your track effects, the individual clip effects, and then, of course, the overall effects. Now I'm going to go back to Vegas 13 to show you what I mean. So if I go over here, I can add effects. And, of course, I have my compressor, my limiter, and, of course, some EQ right here. I can do an overall compressor, limiter, EQ, and get it sounding good. And then there's a third one that I can hit here, and I can actually add effects right here. So I can add another compressor and go from there. If I really need to control the audio, control the video, same thing with the video. There's the video editing effects right there. I can also edit it right here on the track itself. But on the master overall, I believe, I believe that there is no overall, but for the most part, I can do the track, and I can do that. And then, of course, I can create a layer on top of it and then put effects on that so it does an overall layer, which is really cool, and go from there. All right, what else we got here? Let's talk. We talked about the Slideshow Creator. Let's talk about the lighting effects. Now, Vegas Pro has a lot more lighting effects. Actually, they have lighting effects in here as opposed to Movie Studio. So if I wanted to give these guys lighting, I would find the lighting effects here, and I didn't find that too well. I think that might even be in here. Let's see. We've got our video. I've got a couple video track effects. And then these are all the effects that you see up here. And I can go into lighting. I'd find that, and of course, add that in there and give him a better look. I did another video. I can load this up really. My intro greeting. Oh, I can't do that because I don't have all the files loaded up. I have to load a drive on. But basically, I gave this look a more vintage film look, which was great when I was talking to the camera. But you get an idea on that here. Some other things that Vegas Pro can handle. The biggest thing, if you run HD SDI support, if you bring in a camera, because there's the ability to actually capture video, and both of them will capture video through DV or HDV or SDI. Vegas Pro does SDI, HDV, and Movie Studio does not. You'll do the capture video, but as you can see, it says only HDV. So if you use an SDI card, you will not be able to import it through Movie Studio. That's big. If you want to do, I'm recording it live and then bring it in so I can do my edits and go from there. They both support 50p and 60p projects, and they both have support for OpenFX plugins, which is great. However, the Vegas Pro does do what's called 32-bit float video processing. They also have support for gigapixel images and 4K project support. So even though, like I said, you can do 4K, simple 4K projects on Movie Studio, if you're really getting into 4K, this is the one that you want to use. There is limitation between Movie Studio and Vegas Pro when it comes to tracks. You can only do, I think it's 10 video tracks and I believe 20 audio tracks on Movie Studio Pro, whereas Vegas Pro is unlimited. So if you've got 500 tracks, then you go, you use it, and you go from there. The audio bit rate and bit depth for Movie Studio Pro is 16-bit at 48 kilohertz, and with Vegas Pro, it's 24-bit at 192 kilohertz. So that's another big difference between the two. It's also a Calm Act compliant loudness meter, so it helps with the audio basically, and of course it can do 5.1 surround mixing, including film style panning. Movie Studio will not do that. So if you're getting into 5.1 audio, you need to go into Vegas Pro. Other things, like I said, it comes with the effects package and a whole bunch more, which you can read a lot of this stuff on here. But I wanted to show you the basic differences of these two, and I got a little bit into it, as you can see. But if these are the two programs that I use, and I really like as a podcaster, a YouTuber, whatever you want to call it, vlogger, whatever. A lot of my shows have been done on Movie Studio Platinum 13 for the longest time. And really, the reason why, ease of use, and I can do so much more than with some of these other programs. The biggest one, and I know one of the other programs is starting to get into this. I can hit the play button, and I can sit here and I can edit this video, and it's not stopping the video at all. It's just it keeps going. And then when I'm done, I'll just hit the pause button because I'm done. But you see the idea is that I don't have to sit here, and if I need to edit something, it'll stop what I'm doing so I can edit. If I want to bring in this, let's say I want to bring in this OpenFX, I bring it in, and I can hit the play button, and I can watch him talk, and I say, okay, I want to change the placement on this. I'm going to shrink this a little bit. And as you can see, it's fixing the effect and going from there. I'm even going to take that effect out, and it's still playing. And so I can do lots of different editing. I can do lots of different movements and not be inhibited by having the program stop itself every time that I use it. So these are the little things that just make this program work so much better. But the big difference, Movie Studio Platinum 13, it's great for getting the introduction. You got some simple stuff. You want to put in a lower third. You want to do some chroma key. You want to put in an overlay of some pictures or something like that. Make it look newsroom style. That works perfect. And I would, 13, 14, 15. The only problem that a lot of people have is because it's now switching over to the touch screen options. The buttons are a lot bigger. Notice, like I said, look at the buttons between here and here. They're a lot different in size. And another thing is when you throw video in here, let's see if I can do this really quick. I'm going to copy this video. I'm just going to copy it over here. Yep, it let me copy it over here. As you can see, there's these little blue tabs, and these are for the touch screen, and they get in the way a lot when you're using a lot of mousing moves. Because like this is moving the frame and this is shortening the frame. And then of course when it comes to fades, when I'm on Pro, I can fade out like this just by going to the corner. And with this one, if I go to the corner, nothing happens. I've got to go down to this little bar here, and now I'm choosing the fades. And of course I can move it, but I can't shorten or lengthen. I got to switch it back to normal to go from there. Other things, you got envelope options, and interesting in Pro, there's a way I was doing this. My mouse was kind of broken. I had to actually get a brand new mouse, but there's a way to actually show, like for instance, I have these two tracks conjoined. So if I do a special, I think it's like, let's see, I'm trying to get it to work, but they'll actually do something like this, where they join together. I'm just going to undo that. So you can actually see your fades back and forth from clip 1 to clip 2 if you decide to do that. And you can actually go into some different views, so Windows layouts, and we can say we want the default layout, we want to do audio mixing, and as you can see that changes from there. And we want to do color correction. As you can see, there's a color correction option up here. And then, of course, do different types of views. We'll go back to default layout and go from there. So you'll be able to switch back and forth. You can't do that too much here. We've got the view. We got Windows layouts, of course. And I believe you can create your own layouts and go from there. So, but I usually, when it comes to creating stuff like this, I keep it simple. So, all right. Well, those are the basic differences between Movie Studio 13 and Vegas Pro 13. If you're getting into video for $80, you can't go wrong with this software for Windows. And it's great. I have it on most of my machines except for my Mac. It's PC software. It's not Mac software, unfortunately. So if they ever made a Mac version, I would switch to this software in a heartbeat. Vegas Pro gives you a lot more editing options, gives you a little bit more effects, gives you more functionality, so you can do things. And like I said, you get things like the color correction, which is something you don't have in Movie Studio. So you can find out how you can fix things and go from there. Let's go waveform. We go histogram and see that, and we can actually get an idea so we can make our corrections and go from there. Hopefully this has been a great help for you. And oh yeah, you can't forget this thing right here, the iPad connector. So you can make your edits. You can be walking around and say, I need to fix that. I need to fix that. Go back, go forth, and things like that. So hopefully this has been a helpful how-to difference between the two programs. And of course, if it is, let me know. Go over to Geekazine.com. Check everything out over there. And I'll show you. I'll just go over to Geekazine.com right now. And then, of course, how to record podcasts over at howtorecordpodcast.com. And we'll just go over there really quick. Geekazine.com, lots of great videos. Saw in the demonstration there. How to record podcasts. If you are a podcaster and you want to learn a little bit more about the trade, that's that website right there. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Powers. You can catch me at Geekazine. Just think magazine or put in a geek over at Geekazine on Twitter, geekazine@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. So thanks a lot for watching and take care. Geek out.